And good morning, everybody out there. Happy Wednesday, July 9th. It's the great Mattsby and Tracker. How's it going out there, Tracker?
Woo! Oh, man, it's going great. I was just telling you, literally, I just said it's an XRP kind of morning. And you said?
I forgot
it's
what
a crypto
I said.
kind of morning. You said no,
yes,
it's actually a crypto kind of morning.
I'm still waking up here. I have no idea
is.
what's going on.
Oh, no. We all got to party last night. We didn't get to do the Triumvirate show, but we did other things with our time, didn't we? I went and got drunk. Well, no, just tipsy. I had a margarita as big as my head, and a lot of food to go with it. But let's get started because it is exciting. There's lots of stuff to cover. So take us away, Matt.
Yeah, so we're still just range bound here between last week's weekly candle. We can see it's just an inside candle to last week so far. And no matter what price is doing throughout this whole week, it's just not doing anything. So until it starts to either break out past this 626 zone, it's not going to go higher. It's not going to go to that 647 up here. But we could see a potential back test of the 608 if this the bottom of this candle actually gets broken as a support as well. So currently we're range bound, looking for direction. There's really nothing to do except for be patient, just wait and see, because it already broke out and usually there's a back test that follows. So whether it needs to go higher first before lower, that's just yet to be decided. So range bound. And QQQ, we can see same situation, same inside candle to last week. It's not doing anything except just going in the same range, which means it's looking for direction. And could it go higher before lower? Absolutely. But sometimes, usually, there is a back test of the previous all-time high before going higher. So that would be around the 530s, 535, 537 in that zone. IWM is pretty strong recently, actually. We can see it's back inside the weekly cloud, back above this 702 fib right here. And that's at 219.79. So that's the thing I'm watching the most. And this is one of the few out of all the indices here that's actually breaking resistance levels and confirming them as a support with a back test already. You know, the SPY QQQ did not confirm anything as a back test yet. So 219.79, keep above that. This can get a lot more bullish. And is it time to be excited with Bitcoin yet?
Wait. I just want to do a callback to IWM, and how about you and Kat talk about IWM could be a precursor to altcoin season. So I'm sorry, go ahead with Bitcoin.
Yeah, it sure could. I mean, once it really starts to break the 786 or even the 886, then I think a lot of the altcoins can get a lot more bullish as well. And is Bitcoin ready to break out? Ooh, no, it's still under resistance, guys. There's nothing exciting yet. Still within the realms of last week's candle as well, too. You can see the top of last week was 110.557, and we're not even up there. There's not even a wick up there yet, so it's not time to be super excited yet. But I guess I can talk about XRP, though, because it is doing something better than Bitcoin's, outperforming. And the reason why it's outperforming is I made a post yesterday about this 2.29492. This is the 382 fib I've been watching for a very long time. And every time in the past it got there, it faked us out and just collapsed. But now we actually got a higher high. This 4-hour candle actually made a higher high with all of these candles. So I would say it's legitimate this time because of that market structure, break of structure to the upside, which could actually lead to a maybe 250 XRP sooner than later. So good developments for XRP.
And look at your SMAs, your blue one is crossing the purple
the 100 and the 200.
Yeah, blue one's crossing the purple one.
The 100 is crossing above the 200, and everything is upward sloping and beautiful. Yes.
It's so funny. I don't know if everyone has their own colors for the moving averages. So if they're not labeled, it's hard to tell what ones.
Well, it says right here. It says right here. They're labeled right here.
Oh yeah.
200, 100.
How do you? I gotta learn how. I'll ask you after the show how you turn those labels.
I think you just got to find a script. You got to find a script that includes it. That's all.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, nice. All right, is it my turn? Okay. So Rumble Belly said something about copper futures, and I just thought I would take a look real quick. I these are 4-hour candlesticks. I just went back to this significant low here, about 691.80, to the significant high it had right after that at 945.90. And so we get these fib retracement levels on the right-hand side. And you can see what happened is it after running up, it comes back and tests the 298, and that is support. So it runs up past the 50%, the halfway mark, the 0.5 fib here, to the 702, then tests the 50%, loses it. This time makes a higher low at the 382, goes back over the 50%, and this time it makes a lower high. But eventually, blah, 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 it does show that the 382 is support, runs up to the 886 and put a toe over it, but couldn't get over it. Runs back to the 382. Yes, it's still support. And so now it's testing higher and higher. So yeah, look for, if copper futures could get over the 886 of 916.95, then look for it to go ahead and make a new higher high. However, if it can't get over the 886, it's going to retest the 50% level. And if that can't hold, it's going to go all the way back down to 114. If that can't hold, then it makes a new lower low. So it's interesting to think about copper futures because when copper, usually it's going up because the manufacturing is going to be going up, or productivity. Basically, people will be building more stuff. People have more money to build more stuff. They're going to need more copper. So that could, if the economy is looking really great, copper futures will go up. And so back to my Bitcoin chart. Let's see, BTC/USD. I've been doing the same sorts of things on the, let's look at, is it the 1 hour or the 15 minute? 15 minute. On my 15-minute chart, I've been watching this little triangle here. For my subscribers, I've been posting a version of this with annotations. And I'm just, again, here after, this one goes back to this little blip down here at 105, 130, which was Matt's important support level he was looking for. Ran up to 110 and then came down. The 382 is support. So it goes to the 786 twice, can't get over it, goes back. 50% is holding up, didn't even have to go back to the 382. So this is it. Above the 786, it looks like it could be breaking out. Out or fake out is, does it go over the 886? If it can get over 886, over 109,938, then it's off to the races, and we get to do price discovery, over the previous all-time high and higher. But if it can't get over the 886, then it will send it back down to retest the 50% level, and if that can't hold, to the 114. And if that can't hold, it makes a new lower low than here. But I don't know. This is looking pretty. There's a good chance. XRP could be leading the way. I don't know. And you can see it in the pre-market and other crypto-related stocks, which we'll talk about shortly here. And I guess I should do Tesla. Let's see, Tesla. So we did get. Let me do as a 1 hour chart. Previously, we had an island bottom, which looked really good for buying in. I bought this dip. It did run up higher to close the gap. And then what did it do? It made another island bottom down here. You can see much better if I turn off the Ichimoku clouds. And so here, gaps down, fills the gap. Can't get really over my moving average 300 here. That's 4 times 75. This is my 75 moving average, my 300 moving average. Couldn't get over that, and so it sends it back down again. Makes a new lower low. Another island bottom. We're still in the island here in pre-market. I bought some calls and I sold some calls, and I'm going to buy some more calls again. So let's just see. Yeah, let's see what happens with, I guess I could do a teeny tiny fib. Not that you guys are able to watch this all day, but if you learn to do these fib retracement levels, they are amazing. Matt has turned me into a complete fib retracement convert. So it tested the 382, found support. It needs to test the 786 and then maybe show support at the 50% before it can go higher, make a new higher high and close this gap. So there you go. Watch for maybe a support test. A critical support test would be 296.45. And if I can uphold that, then up higher we go. Back to you, Matt. Oh, and then, of course, Tesla. It's going to 1,000. Just give it time.
Yeah. For me, Tesla.
I'm not kidding. It's going to over 1,000.
For me, Tesla, I'm just watching 301, 300. If it stays below, it's going to maybe keep retesting lower levels. If it closes above, it'll get more bullish. That's all I got. So With that, let's continue on to, I see Venice AI. It's a crypto. There's not much I can do with that one. So we can just go here and just take a look at Venice AI, and you can see this is the weekly chart. It's not much data. So basically, we can go to the daily chart. We can see underneath all the indicators, there's no momentum. It is trying to flatline and bottom, kind of like an inverse head and shoulders developing possibly. So maybe it can break out, maybe not, but it's got to start breaking resistance to prove it. So 281, $3 level. It's got to break above to get more bullish. Let's take a look here at SLSR. And
Oh, that one looks nice.
Solaris.
It's pretty.
Yeah, Solaris, it broke out, right, on the daily chart. So pretty good breakout. Maybe it's in process of a back test now. Weekly chart, how does that one look? It's turning into a wick. I think the important thing to do here is just to put a little quick fib on this just to see why it got rejected. And there it is. That's the 1.272 fib, the 561. So perhaps it had a destination and perhaps it cannot close above. So 561 is resistance right now until proven otherwise. And if that does get rejected, there could be a back test down in the 470s, maybe even the 450s below before it's really able to break higher. And I'll do ELF as well. ELF on a shelf, eyes, lips, face. Got to get that. See, boom, boom,
ELF
boom.
on a shelf.
We can see. I think we talked about this numerous times, how it's at resistance, basically the last few weeks. And sure enough, it wicked directly through my arc and the 100-week moving average. And as expected, it got rejected. So, oh, that rhymed. As expected, got rejected. So it's a nice V bottom. And I still think it has lower to go before it wants to go higher. So perhaps a back test of the 50 SMA is in order. 107.13, perhaps the conversion line, 102, perhaps even the 200 SMA at 91. So it's just a big V bottom breakout, got rejected. Maybe it's a giant cup and handle. Don't know how deep this cup and handle is going to get, but I warned you guys for the past couple of weeks on ELF that it was at resistance. So it's not the opportunity to get bullish, not the time to get excited. So I think lower first before it really wants to break this resistance above. But it is a nice looking chart now after this beautiful V-shaped recovery.
All right, I got a hot take on SLSR. I was just already looking at it before you said you were going to do it. And thanks, here it is. So SLRS, I just went and I did a retrace from, where did I take it from? Oh, from this high back here to this low down here. Anyway, yeah, it almost hit the 1618 here. And so that's, big resistance after that, big run up 618. You can see here it's kind of topping out on the RSI. So yeah, it could easily come back to retest this 1618 as support. If that's support, then it goes higher. If it fails, then watch it to retest the 100% level at 445. If that fails, then watch it for the 786 will be pretty crucial after that. Upholding the 786 could also take it back up higher. If it loses that, it could go down to the 298. We'll retest the 50% and probably lose to the 298. But there you go. Just take a screenshot of this and you can trade off of these fibs on the right. GLXY. I've got this chart. Yeah, let's see. I bought a bunch of shares. I can't remember if that was yesterday or 2 days ago now. That probably was yesterday. Let's see. So I've kind of got this what if Galaxy goes back down to retest this 50% fib level. That's from this low back to that high. So 1635 would be a fantastic buy this. And then after that, it should probably, if the 50% upholds, then it goes back to make a new all-time high. And my chart is, I'm kind of looking for this larger 123.6 fib around $49. So GLXY, I mean, you could buy it now, probably fine, but or look for a little bit lower. I could do one more and then I should let Matt go again. SoundHound, Matt did this one yesterday. I didn't get to do it. Here's my sound chart. It is heading for this 382 at 1526. That's my minimum target. it could go past that and go to the 618 or even the 764. And you can see on the left-hand side, that corresponds with testing the 786 or the 886. Well, actually, the 764 would be the previous high. But yeah, the 786 or it just goes over the 100%. So there you go. Minimum target 1526. You can just buy it right now, and it might test lower, but only if it can't get over the 382. If it goes as high as the 764, it only comes back as low as the 382 at 1526. So that's my take on sound, and that just goes to like infinity after that.
Yeah,
it really goes up there. Into the 60s.
I got a lot of questions on sound.
Go ahead.
And people ask me every day about sound, actually. Yeah. And there's no change for me because it needs to break out. It has to prove it wants to break out. And yes, it is currently above the 886, the 1293 pre-markets at 1331 pre-market. But you know what else is above it? It's the bottom of the cloud. And that's exactly where pre-market price is. So this is a big resistance zone, and there's no place for me to really get excited yet until I can actually see it getting broken. So it's in process of trying to do that, but there still is 2 days, 8 hours left until the weekly candle close. So we'll see how it develops. And then after that, you got the angle above here, which is also going to be a resistance, maybe in the 14s. So it's just a big resistance zone that is trying to overcome. And can it do it? I think it's possible, yes. But I'm always about confirmation. I don't like to speculate ahead of time. So for me, I just got to wait and see. If it closes above, great. We can talk about higher levels. But if it just turns into a wick by Friday and closes below, then nothing has changed from the previous weeks. And this arc and everything else could still be resistance, and it could even retest lower again before trying to break out above. So yes, it's a bullish chart. It's at resistance right now. Can it break free? Yes, but I just wait for proof of that. I don't try to get ahead of myself with that. And I do see a Robinhood request as well. I wanted to get to that. And Robinhood, week over week, we're getting rejected at arc resistance. So we can see last week it did it, this week it did it. And even pre-market, we're green pre-market, but you know what? It's still below the arc. So massive breakout, got to resistance, still is resistance. Nothing is breaking out above. All these are wicks above. So this is just caution for me. Cannot get too excited with Robinhood right now until it definitively really wants to break above the 94, 95 zone and flip it to support and then go higher. So breakout of this 73, 74 zone. Had a little back test already, so that was a breakout back test perhaps completed. But now we're in the process of trying to break resistance. So cautious at resistance, bullish at support.
Oh, be more like Matt. He's excellent. All right, but you guys know that already because you're watching the show. All right, that crow sound was my BT Bit Digital telling me that it struck $3.99, which was an important resistance level. Right here, you can see it's this 50% retracement from the 629 top down to the 169 bottom that I had here recently. So looking back to that, it's fighting with this 50% fib, and it's under it still. If it can't get over it, it's going to probably go back to this 298 down here at $3.06, right about the time my moving average 75. No, that's probably too slow even. Man, I don't know. Watch for the 382 as support next. If not, the 298, 306 is about where the moving average 300 is. That would be a great place for it to bounce up from. Barring that, whenever it hits the moving average 75, maybe at the 236 is when it might hit there by that point. But anyway, just be cautious under 399. But anytime, as soon as it gets over it, it's off to the races after that. My next target for BT Digital is 320% higher to this 50% retrace. All that's doing, let me just show you on a weekly chart. All it's doing is it is working to retrace back to the 50% of this large move from $33 down to 51 cents. So I'm just a big convert now. All my fib levels are named after Matt in tribute. They're all TGM left, TGM right, TGM macro left, TGM macro right. So so after it beats this small scale 50% fib, it's going to try to check out this larger scale 50% fib, and then after that, it'll retest the 100% and then 141. And this is just linear scale. Matt does all his in log scale, which are much longer term charts.
Not always.
Anyway, that's enough of that for now.
I do my lower time frames are in linear scale.
That's right. When you want accuracy, you do linear scale. When you want scope, you do log scale. Go ahead, back to you, Matt, and I'll pull something else off the chat here for next.
Alrighty, yes, I see.
Or I could just keep going.
I see a Kongsberg group and Hazard. I don't even know what that is, but yeah, I'll take a look at that.
I think I did that one 3 days ago.
KOG. Yeah. So, whoa, somebody's jamming to some retro vibes back there. Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying. I can't take this call. I'll call him back.
Yeah. Well,
it's my air conditioning people.
Fair enough.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's not much I can do.
It's working fine.
There's not much I can do with this chart with fibs or anything because it's just been a melt up, right? It's just been melting up forever and ever and ever and ever. So it is on a week-to-week basis kind of extended, going back down to the baseline, maybe 309, maybe the 50 SMA down at 275. We can look at the monthly chart too, just to see that it's just not even touching the conversion line either, and that's a minimum of 308. So it looks like because it's really overextended.
I got to show my chart.
Yeah, you will.
I got to show my chart. I called this.
308.90 is the minimum target and maybe even back into the 200. So super overextended. I would not be chasing any of this price action at all. And is it bullish? Yes. But can it retrace a lot? Yes, it can. So my minimum target, 308, maybe even down to the 275 zone tracker.
Okay, just as a point of honor, this is probably the only person trading this equity in the whole show, so I won't take any more time on it much than this to say that I did suspect that it would do a 764,382 based off of this fib setup, and look, I kind of cheated it up to this 127.2 and then back to the 100%. But really, if I just pull this to the 76 and then the 382, look, it didn't quite get to 410.80, but it is going back down to 313.50. So I'd look for support around 313.50, maybe the 886 here at 302.65. If it can't do that, it'll test back to the 786. Do a 1 week chart, put a moving average 75 on it. That is a 75, and the 300 is way down there. And when price touches the moving average 75 on the weekly chart, that is going to be your support. All right. I just got so excited when I saw that. Oklo.
Oh, I want to just address H. Salamanca. He's asking for VV again. I already did that one in the beginning. So if you just scroll back, you can see I did that crypto. There's not much data to it, so there's not much to chart. So H. Salamanca, please just go back and watch it. Yeah. Anyways.
All right. Let's see.
I've
got a chart for Oklo, our good friend.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You go ahead. Well, here's Oklo. It is not doing the 764,382 that I would normally have expected. I'm tossing this out. Let's just get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of all this. Tossing it all out, and let's just look back at the retracement fibs. And it has gotten, it went back to, oh wait, is this long? Let's see, let me just, hang on a second. I got to turn on a different set. TGM, macro left. All right, so, yeah, look, it went to the 1272. It struggled at 1168. It kind of stretched up to the 1272, and now it's back to the 886 again. It's checking out the 886. Did a kind of yeah, if the 886 can hold, then this goes even higher to the 1618 next, I would say. So if it can't, so I'll give you two arrows. If it can't hold the 886, it's going to go back to it's going to have to retest the 50% guaranteed, and then maybe the 382 holds it at 2593. Second arrow is if it goes up from here, it's going to go to the 1618. That's what I would be looking for next. And there's your two targets for Oklo, and then everything else is just gravy. If it goes down to 32.27, just like back up the truck and buy a bunch of it, and then just hold on to it for dear life for, I don't know, the rest of this year anyway. All right, back to you, Matt.
Yeah. So I see a couple things here. One is woof. wondering if it's worth hanging on to or flip it to something else. Well, Wolf is bullish. You can see on the weekly chart here for my Wolf chart, it's back above the 50 SMA, and it's basically flipping it to support. It looks like a lot of different miners. So, I mean, flipping it to something else is just like flipping it to a similar chart, really, because a lot of them are still under the weekly cloud. A lot of them are still under the 200. I mean, the only ones that are above right now are kind of like BTBT and Iron and all those, right? Iron's breaking out higher to the 886, but that would just be chasing. And you know me, I don't chase. And oftentimes when you swap something out for something else, then that something you swapped it for starts to skyrocket, and then the something you bought does nothing. So that usually doesn't work in people's favor, how they like it. It's one of the mistakes that I try to tell people to avoid, because you just don't know. The best thing to do is, if you want something else, just accumulate that, right? Start a position in that and just leave this one alone, because it's fine. It's bullish, right? Stay above 474, stay above the 452 zone. Then I think this can continue the journey higher. I also see QBTS as well. A lot of people have been talking about this one, the D wave. And yeah, it's bullish, right? It's building a base kind of on top of this previous one level here. And that one level is right there at, let me just get those Ichimoku stuff off there. They don't even matter. Let's see. Yeah, it's at the 1323. So I think due to the volatility, is it possible to go back down there? Yes, because it never really back tested it back in June. So it still could just make another lower high up here and then come back down to the 1323 before it really wants to come up higher. So I am still anticipating some kind of a back test in the 13s before continuation. But it's a bullish chart. I think it just needs more time for like all these averages and everything else to catch up to price. And once we do find another higher low, wherever that might be, because this might be one of those little A, B, C corrections, maybe even comes back down to these previous highs in the 10s before really going higher. So it's something I would not chase up here, because it already had a massive breakout. I typically like to buy the back test, and really the back test of this opportunity would be the 200 all the time, which was also the 702 fib. That was really the true opportunity for the breakout back test before it really went up higher. So now we're just floating there in the middle of a range, nothing to do excitingly until it really finds another higher low and confirms it really wants to continue its journey higher. And right now we don't have any of that. So it's just watching for me for QBTS.
Oh my gosh, there's no way we're going to get through all these requests in the next 7 minutes. I will answer. Kim Appreciates Life says, Tracker, did I buy calls on Tesla or TSLL? And she's right. I bought my calls on TSLL. I think I said a week ago. It's a great way to do Tesla, is to trade calls on TSLL, the derivative, because it moves much faster and further. It way amplifies what Tesla's doing. So here's SBET, and I just want to show you the lifetime chart here. There's the dinosaur without my drawings on it, and just look and see how, as far as this is log scale, and it had some crazy, reverse stock splits over the years to get it from, to make it look like it was once $25,000. It was never that much. It's just the reverse stock splits really hurt it. And look at this wick right here that's sort of preceded everything else that happened after that, to go back and test this level from that wick. And then look at this wick back. Now, either this is the world's greatest blow off top and it's going to go lower, or something is happening to SBET that is bringing it back. So let me just show you. I should show you the Bollinger Band here real quick. Oh yeah, look, see the cat's Bollinger Bands has gone on with lower support band. It is just way, way low. So, and you've been watching cats on the show, and that's a nice indicator, log scale. Anytime you see this run like that, big things are coming. All right, now with my drawings on, I want to show you what I've done here. Instead of going all the way back to the very top of the chart, I just went back to a more significant, the quote unquote blow off candle. If that was a blow off top, no, wait, did I use the one? No, I used this one. I used this one right here, where it was arguing this price, and this was the last time that this price was support before it went down. So that's my 100% level at $168, and then it hit an all-time low of, why is this not? You know what? This should be that price. Well, I feel like I've done something. Sorry. 233. Why would I say 202? Okay. So anyway, it's going to retest this 50% low fib eventually. It ran up to here, and it did. That was sort of the 50%. It kind of went to the 702, almost the 786. Then what does it do? It comes back and it goes below the 11.4. So right now, all it's trying to do is get back above the 11.4, where it's 1629 now. Now it's 2 week. Here's a 16-hour chart, which includes the pre-market. Yeah, we're still below 11.4. We're at 1890. It needs to touch 2120 and then get over it. So my minimum target is, just go for 2122 to test it. And then, if it comes back, maybe this 16-hour moving average 75, maybe around this 1618 fib. This is from right here, 1425 to the bottom back here at 775. And then so it kind of went to the 114 almost on the smaller scale. It got over the 141. It got over the 1618. It really now it's just abandoning this fibs set, and it's looking at the 114. So this is the rest of my chart from here. It gets over the 114, then it goes to the 298. If the 298, it's resistance the first time, but then it'll get to the 382 eventually. The 382 should send it back to the 236, and then eventually it wants to test the 78. It should be the 786. Well, the 702 at least before it sends it back down. The 786 if it wants to keep going up from there. So, on log scale, I'm sorry, I'm just going on about SBET. I'm such a fan of the stock right now. They're an Ethereum, Me Too MicroStrategy. So 258% higher to the 382, 613% higher to this 786 here of the larger chart. That's not even the whole chart. That's just going back to my 100% fib at 168, which was back here, way back here. This one right there. All right, back to you, Matt.
Yes, sir. So let's take a look at some of these down here. Yeah, I see some other. Oh, there's Snap. I haven't really done Snap in a while. I'm trying to find some that I haven't done in a while. I've done MSTR quite a bit, and there's really not much of a change yet for MSTR until Bitcoin really definitively breaks out. But here's my Snap chart right here. I'll go over here, and we can see that on Snap, I drew a black line here, just kind of indicating a double bottom right there, and it held, right? So Snapchat on the double bottom, it did hold. So if we just go up to the 50-week moving average, that can be our next resistance zone, maybe 990. Is this a bullish chart? No, absolutely not. Is it trying to go higher? I mean, maybe. We just don't even know because it's kind of been flat for years. Since 2022, it's just been basically in the same range with some liquidity grabs up top, doing nothing. So is it something I would enjoy or try to buy? Absolutely not, right? Until it really breaks above the Ichimoku cloud, then we can talk about it. Like not just like temporarily, actually start to build a base on top of it. And currently that would be around like $12 or $13. So until that happens, it would just be a no for me because it's done nothing for a long time and it just looks like dead money. So we'll see. We'll see if it does want to break out. But I think as long as it stays above this 730 zone, I think it has potential to maybe keep building that base. But who knows how long that's actually going to take. So just cautious on this one. And this is going to be my last one, Trekker. So you can go ahead and take us out.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Poor Snapchat. All right. Here's a NBIS by request, Nebius Group. It's got a big old W for winning right here. Here's your W, the ABC. It's working on it. Basically, it did the AB. It got a little higher than the A. It's just testing back for a little bit for support before running to the rest of the C. That makes your W. So look for a test of the 886 at $78.66 next, which is 66% higher from where price is right now in pre-market. After that, it'll probably, I don't know, might test back to the, if it can just test the 786 and hold that, then it can go ahead and make and go for the 141 up here at 117.79. So yeah, NBIS looks like a great chart. And that's it. Let's see. Today's date is today's date Wednesday, July 9th. Mark this day. It could be if we get a pullback and then it runs up again. I don't know. This could be where just everything takes off into the wave 3 for everything. I don't know. Matt will say be cautious. I guess we should be cautious, but oh man, it feels like everything's on the verge of just absolutely melting up from here. I mean, in a nice way for the rest of the year. Not like it's going to melt up in like 1 week. And
yeah,
then that's it.
just my last 2 cents for everything. Like the way Palantir and Nvidia and a lot of things closed yesterday, it doesn't look like they want to pull back, guys. So I think a lot of people are waiting for pullbacks. But just looking at Nvidia and Palantir alone, that just bodes well for the indices as well. I think what we're going to see is just continuation higher. We'll see others like suffer a little bit more, like Tesla, but that just means it's not ready yet, right? You gotta have patience for Tesla, but once it's ready, it'll probably just blow people's minds, and it's just not there yet. So no need to focus on it, no need to dwell on it. There's a lot of opportunity in the market. We don't need to fixate on just one. So those are my final thoughts.
I just blew up my Palantir charting so I could draw this. It looks like the 1-2. This is a 1-2, and so it wants to go to maybe at least the 764 next 157 before it does any test back at all. Next, yeah, looking really bullish. All right, thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
I feel like we did like a little tiny triumvirate show.
Yeah, pretty much.
In like 30 minutes. Yeah. All right. Good luck out there, everybody. And yeah, if you don't subscribe to Matt or me, you should do both of us, in my opinion.
Yes.
Or at least one of us. Matt, I would say subscribe to Matt first. And then I'm so cheap. Like I could just be like an add-on. But I
don't call yourself cheap.
I would literally chart anything.
You're a gentleman. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. Well, I'm cheap for now. Anyway, get me before I'm gone. All right. Yeah. Good luck, everybody, and have a great day, Matt.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks.
Bye.
We'll see you tomorrow.